is going to try this, and it will be a 60, let's call it 63-yard attempt. Spotted at the Bronco 47-yard line. Sam's a little hot. Elam's kick. Oh, the line drive. It's got enough distance.
My name is Rhett. I'm joined by my older brother Ian. Together, we are the Long Distance Kicks podcast. It is the off season, but you know what? You know what? It's the on season for hot goss. Ian, how do you like to celebrate Combine Week? What's your go to?
Well, the combine to me is in and of itself a celebration. It to me it kind of represents that first. That sounded so much more like philosophical than I meant it to. It represents kind of that first wave of clarity on prospects. You know, like honestly, like I'll do some of these mock draft simulators these past few weeks, and I'm like, why am I even doing this before the combine? You know, and then after the combine, I'll do some, and then I'll probably be like, why would I do this before free agency when we fill some of our other roster needs? It's kind of that first wave. Obviously, the drills are what they are. There was a great podcast. I don't remember. It's the Athletics football podcast. I don't know if that's just what it's called, but Dane Brugler was on there. Who, I mean, you know,
good old DB,
best in the biz, in my opinion.
The Brug.
It was a great episode where he kind of just talked about what is and isn't actually important with the combine. And he talked about like the drills are important. And also like some drills are more important than others, but also really even more than any of that stuff. It's like getting medical sorted out. Like teams love to have their guys there to get medical sorted out, and just interviews, getting to, you know, you're not just drafting players, you're drafting people. So like, getting in the rooms with these players, interviewing them with your staff, those are the things that are really beneficial. Now, as fans, we don't really get to see that stuff as much. We are more getting to see the drills. And so, I mean, honestly, I'm still excited for that. It's an event that I hope to one day attend in person, not as a prospect, but definitely would love to go watch. And yeah, man, it's exciting. Other than that, I'm celebrating with this coconut pineapple bubbly.
Ooh,
one of our sponsors. Not a sponsor.
No.
This flavor is really good. Actually, it's like a pina colada. It tastes delicious.
That does sound good. Yeah. If anyone would like to subscribe to our Substack, if we get enough people behind this, we will go to Indianapolis next year. We'll cover it in person.
If enough people subscribe, we may start recording more than once a month.
Yeah, you know, listen. If someone subscribes with enough money, we will change the entire basis of this podcast. We'll do whatever.
Yeah. Listen,
we'll
people,
talk about.
There's a lot that's happened. Okay, Bo Nix,
we'll make this a gardening pod.
Rhett got his hair cut. It took like 3 trips to the barber. Okay, we have things going on. All right, so
yeah, it's all right. It's all right. You know, God forbid the people take a little sabbatical after the blood, sweat, and tears that we gave to this organization throughout the season.
Seriously, 14-3 the year we start the pod, and you all complain. I don't even think I can record anymore. I'm too angry. Anyways, all right. So, but yeah, Combine Week. I'm excited. Honestly, I mean, you know this about me. I mean, one of my favorite times of the year. As silly as this sounds, I enjoy the off season of the NFL as much or possibly even more than the actual season, which is unhealthy and twisted, but it is what it is.
It is something unique to the NFL. As we are 100%. Both general sports fans. We have other leagues that we quite like. Yep. Ian, I know that you know your stuff about baseball. You're a bit of an MLB guy. I love basketball. I follow the NBA year round. There is no sport like the NFL because the NFL has no down season, no bad season, no dog days. There is there is maybe the 1 month between the draft and like between mini camps and training camp. But guess what? That's in the middle of the summer. You're off doing fun stuff over the summer. The NFL takes a 1 month break, and then for the rest of the year, 11 months out of the year, the NFL is watchable, is interesting, is intriguing.
I think that like despite its flaws, I think it's far and away the best product in live sporting events, easily. Well, sorry, I don't mean like live, because you could say like NHL. You go to an NHL hockey game, that is so much fun. That's
Yeah.
probably more fun than going to an NFL game. But I'm more just saying like as a league, the NFL is still king in my opinion.
Yeah,
Nothing competes with that product. It's certainly not perfect, but man,
I was
so
going to say that it is perfect, and you know, just say, hey, Roger, you're doing great. Keep doing what you're doing, Roger Goodell. New sponsor.
indeed. All right, so
Okay.
let's get into
Right, straight me. All right, on into Ian.
let's just dive right in.
Let's dive right in because
I saw a thing. Sorry, I can't remember. I think this was like a tweet from like 2011 or something. I saw a screenshot of that was like 2 guys 45 minutes into a podcast. Okay, let's dive right in. Sorry,
well,
let's actually dive right in.
Hey, let's get straight to it. All right, get the bubbly out of your mouth. Unprofessional. Drink the pina coladas on the job. Ian,
and I'll do it again.
Yeah, you know what we have? We had an opportunity to hear from Sean Payton, and I believe also George Payton.
Both,
and
yes.
They had a lot of splaining to do. So let's talk about. Do you want to do the big news? You want to do the big news first?
Yeah, the big news. Absolutely. I do.
Let's do the
Hit
big
us
news.
with it, man.
Ian,
Hit him with it.
Sean Payton, NFL Hall of Fame coach, largely on the back of his prowess as a play caller, is passing the torch, handing off the reins to a young but I would say highly praised, anticipated wonderkin of an offensive coordinator, Davis Webb. Something that has been talked about, has been wondered to, but really a big step here for Sean Payton. Ian, what do you make of it?
Well, I thought we were starting with the big news, which is,
Oh.
of course, that the Broncos have met formally with Jake Golday.
But
that's okay.
Whoa! I haven't heard this.
Yeah.
Stop the pressers.
They have met with several linebackers. I think Kliss confirmed Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech, and then maybe C.J. Allen from Georgia. But then at Jake Golday's press conference, you know how these press conferences are a farce because it's every team's guys just asking like, "Have you met with our team?" And so, but anyways, probably Zach Stevens. Somebody asked like, you know, "Have you met with the Broncos?" And he said yes. So listen, Rhett. Remember what I said? I don't know how many episodes ago because we've had recordings been very inconsistent since the postseason. I said, if you were listening, Jake Golday is good enough of a prospect to go at the end of the first round. And while people, when I say that, will disagree, after the combine, they will no longer disagree with me. Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because it's about, or I think, I don't know if tomorrow's linebacker. I can't remember I don't know the order. But workouts start tomorrow for one position, one set of positions. Anyways, whatever. That's enough about Jake Golday.
Hey,
to it.
Just 2 guys in a goldfish bowl, hoping for our guy.
Okay. Yeah, right. So yes, I will give a little bit of context from where I'm coming from. I was somebody who I've kind of been more in the camp of like, I love Davis Webb, and I think obviously the way players and coaches speak about him, there is substance to that. I'm not saying he is a scrub by any means. It does feel like, man, he has gotten a wild amount of gas these past couple years, and people in the middle of the season were kind of clamoring for like, why isn't Davis Webb calling plays? And it's just one of those things for me. I was like, we haven't really seen that. I know we saw in the preseason, like he had the game against the Cardinals where he called plays, but I don't know how much stock to take into that. So it just felt odd because of Sean's history as a play caller. He's one of the top offensive minds to ever play the game. So uh, from my perspective, I was thinking like, it doesn't make sense for Sean to hand over play calling duties.
Hmm.
I think that because if it works, I mean he's going to be gone the following year anyway, and so then what happens then, or what if he's not good, and then in the middle of the season, like are we writing this out, or is Sean
Hmm.
taking back over? I was a little more skeptical, and I thought fans were kind of just getting a little, they were kind of idealizing it a little too much. Um, but I'm really just mostly on the heels of this announcement, mostly just relieved that we have clarity.
Hmm.
Um, there's no question that Davis Webb has the respect of that organization. He has the respect of the players. Bo Nix, how many times has Bo Nix talked about his appreciation for Davis Webb? I mean, from that standpoint, it's hard not to get excited about it. I am a little intrigued structurally for the offense. Are there alterations, like how much free reign is he truly being given as not just a play caller, but like as an architect for the offense? You would
Hmm.
have to think, as somebody, he played for Cliff Kingsbury at Texas Tech, there might be some air raid elements that get more introduced into this offense, which could be pretty cool. I'm curious. And Rhett, I'm willing to be cautiously optimistic about this. Um, yeah, the last thing I'll say about it, Rhett, and then I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I do think Sean Payton's humility to be able to do this is something that impressed me, because even if I felt like it was something he needed to do, I did not expect him to have the willingness to do it. So the fact that not only is he doing it, but he came out yesterday, or two, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? I can't remember. I think it was yesterday, right? What is time? The passage of time. Anyways,
Yeah.
but my point is this: for him to not only say Davis is going to call plays, but kind of sign off on it as strongly as he did, showed a humility that I didn't take him for. And I think that if it's like, wow, he's doing this because he believes it's best for the organization. I think that's a mark in his favor that he's willing to do that. So, uh, yeah, I mean, I can't help but be intrigued to see how it goes. What are your thoughts, Rhett?
Yeah, I particularly your last point is sort of where my mind wandered whenever I was thinking about as the news broke and or even the conversations going up to it.
Yeah.
But I guess hearing that Sean has done it, um, I've been trying to play the game of well, why might Sean do this? We know Sean Payton. He's been
Yeah.
around long enough. Like we understand some of the basic motivations. Like Sean Payton has for years and years and years been marked as a man whose weaknesses have been around his own he is so sure of himself. His issues has come from like too much bravado, too much hubris, believing that he can get it done his way. And when his teams have fallen short, they've fallen short being Sean Payton teams.
Yep.
And I cannot figure a way for this decision to be I can't figure out how it's the unhealthy side of him operating. Um, he did not do it in a prideful or hubris way. Like the closest thing I can
Yeah.
get to is maybe he's trying to prove that he can, raise up the next great offensive mind or whatever. But truly, it seems to me like he has this team that he believes is Super Bowl caliber. He has a quarterback that he believes is Super Bowl caliber. He's got everything in place. And I think what was really annoying Sean was when the offense got really gummed up, it was things like Sean Payton having to juggle too many things all at once, thinking about timeouts and
Yep.
game management situations and doing that. And so the plays weren't getting in as fast. Like I multiple times you'd see Bo Nix just pissed at the sideline, just yelling about getting a play in. And I think that whenever you're the head coach, you have to, he may be saying, okay, well, I can't do all of this all the time now, and maybe
Yep.
it's with his, he's slowing down some with age, or
Whoa.
he's realizing that like he's taking on more of the CEO responsibility than he had before, whatever.
Yep.
But it's it's a hard, there's some of that stuff you just can't really hand off. Like he can't
Yep.
have someone else thinking about at the meta level, at the 10,000 foot level, how am I trying to control this game, or use of timeouts, or things like that that just have to be him. So his willingness to give up play calling duties, and seeing Davis Webb as someone who might be worthy of that, I
Yep.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. On its face, I'm skeptical of it. I think that if you have one of the great play callers of all time, you probably should have that guy calling plays. But if he trusts it, I'll trust what Sean Payton
And
is
that's
saying.
and that's the big thing, right? If Sean Payton trusts it, and I trust Sean Payton, therefore I'm going to trust and try to be
Mhm,
optimistic about this. And again, it's hard not to feel intrigued about it anytime you have a young, fresh mind like that who's been spoken highly of. Rhett, I mean, an age-old principle of leadership. Not that I'm like the leading authority on that, but like only do what only you can do, and I
mhm,
think that delegation is an important part of leadership. And I think that for Sean to have the self-awareness, that I would say the self-imposed self-awareness of like,
mhm,
you think back to his like driving at night comment from a couple months ago. Sean is trying to be self-aware here, and he's
mhm,
trying to be realistic about, okay, what's at this point in my career, is it best for this team if I'm doing this job? Is there someone else who can? And obviously, he believes a lot in Davis Webb. So it's hard not to feel
mhm.
intrigued. And what I don't want to do, even though I was kind of on the other side of it, I don't want to belittle uh, other fans' excitement about this. Because yeah, like why wouldn't you be intrigued by it? So
Yeah,
hope it
I
works.
think I think the positive upshot is exciting.
Yeah,
Where even
totally.
even if even if the very best outcome, oh, he's a superstar, he's a rock star, he gets a head coaching job next year. Well, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
But the opportunity of, oh, if the play calling is still good, but you have you have a first time play, like a guy who's not afraid, who's going to be a little bit more, I think, probably aggressive, as Sean Payton, like you said, his comments about driving at night and whatnot, I think was alluding to Sean Payton looking back and going, you know what? I am not as aggressive as I'd like to be. I am
sure,
too, like I'm still, I've become more naturally conservative. And so
totally.
I think we could see a little bit more, um, a little
Yeah,
bit more, a few more guitar solos, in
sure.
this year's production of the offense. And I think that could be uh, very positive, very exciting, and I'm excited to see Sean Payton with more of his uh, presence available and thought available to the rest of the team,
Yep.
because there were games where some of those margin stuff we lost some things,
Hmm.
and if
Yep.
if Sean Payton is able to think more about um, personnel groupings and some of those things, I
Yeah.
think that it can be really super beneficial.
Yeah. It's one of those things, Rhett, that uh, I don't remember what role he got hired on as in LA, but like if Davis Webb, let's say Davis Webb play calling experiment goes great, Bo lights it up, our offense is humming. He's gonna like surely he's gonna get a head coaching job in the next cycle, right?
Mhm,
I mean, his name was thrown out so much. In that scenario, I'd love to bring in Cliff Kingsbury. Like, why not just bring in the guy who coached Davis Webb, who adapts a
mhm,
lot of the same principles. I don't know how realistic that is, but yeah. Anyways, but yeah, sounds like we're both kind of on the same page
mhm,
with this Davis Webb thing.
yeah.
Excited to see how it works.
My last thought, one last quick thought. The timing of it is very important. I like that it is this early on. It
Yep.
shows me that it's something that Sean Payton was thinking about throughout the season. Said, we will put a pin in this for now. That's a big change. We're not going to do that in the middle of
Yeah.
the season. Got through the season, told Davis Webb right away, like, to, as a part of the conversation, am I going to go somewhere else? No, 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 no. You'll do
Yep.
this, and it it feels very much in line. Like if this was something that came out in training camp, I would be way more suspect. But that we're hearing it at the combine,
Yeah.
I'm I'm willing to give it a shot.
Yeah, and Sean said himself, he said kind of in the middle of the season, that's where he started to go that way in his thought of like,
Mhm.
should somebody else be doing this? So yeah, see how it works.
Yeah. Ian, what else did you take from Sean Payton from his presser?
Yeah,
Any?
there were a few interesting things. The first one, he was asked by somebody. Unfortunately, I don't know who asked him what. Usually, I'm okay at like being able to figure out who asked what. Uh, he was asked about like perceived needs for the roster. He listed running back, tight end, and linebacker as needs, which I think we both agree with. One thing I think is a little interesting and not fantastic is that if you had asked me last year what are some of our needs, I would have told you running back, tight end, and linebacker. So that's not perfect, but hey, listen, J.K. Dobbins, I think, was a great signing. Unfortunately, he got injured, which he's apt to do in his career, unfortunately. I think Evan Ingram, unfortunately, for whatever reason, whether his fault or not, a little bit underwhelming. I would be curious to see if he's on the team again this year. Does Davis Webb, like, is there an uptick in production for Evan Ingram? I don't know. Linebacker, we bring in Dre Greenlaw, who I think was okay. I think, again, I've talked about this, I think a little bit underwhelming. I know that was coming back from injury and then he got hurt again, so that's tough. But yeah, Red, I think there's no question that those are some of our needs. We're going to address those things one way or the other. I feel pretty confident that running back and probably tight end will be addressed in free agency.
Hmm.
Doesn't mean we wouldn't take somebody in the draft too, because especially this tight end class is very interesting. And then linebacker, I could see us addressing in the draft. There are a few different guys. The guys I'm about to list are not. This isn't you and I just coming up with something new. A lot of Broncos country. I think
Hmm.
Tyler Algier is maybe the most talked about potential free agent target that Broncos. I mean, I feel like everyone's talking about Tyler Algier, and I get it. I mean, why not? He's young. He's shown talent. I mean, he's got a 1,000-yard season under his belt.
Hmm.
The style of play fits what we're looking for. I know that people have talked about David Montgomery in a trade. I'm not as high on that one, but I get it. We're kind of looking for somebody who's kind of that yard turner. It stinks that J.K. Dobbins struggles with injuries because what he was at his best last season, that was exactly what I wanted in a running back who was starting for us. So I'd still love to have J.K. back regardless. You know, we'll see if that happens or if it doesn't happen. Red, as far as tight end, I mean, I think there's actually some interesting free agent tight ends. A lot of people have talked about Cade Otton. Um, I know like Dawson Knox has been thrown around if he were to become
Hmm.
available. The guy I really like is Charlie Kolar from the Ravens. Charlie Kolar is a
Oh.
guy who, and he was great. He was great in college. I think he played at Iowa State. I really remember really enjoying watching him in college. But
Hmm.
for the Ravens, he has been a force as a run blocker. Um, I really like what I have seen from him in that role. Now, receiving production is not there. I think you can also kind of argue, though, like uh, tight end 3 in the Ravens offense behind Isaiah
Yeah.
Likely and Mark Andrews. I mean, yeah, that was never gonna be like a target funnel. I kind of, if we're addressing tight end in free agency, I want to bring in somebody. I think it's more important to me that they are a great blocker than they are a dynamic receiver. I know for the last couple of years we have featured Adam Troutman as kind of that inline Y. To be honest, his blocking isn't good enough for me, and his
No.
receiving isn't quite good. It's just not good enough. I get he's a Sean Payton guy. I think he's a good locker room guy. I want to bring in a great run blocker. I think Charlie Kolar is a guy who could be that and also potentially offer some upside as a receiver. Um, with Davis Webb being the play caller, Daniel Bellinger is inevitably going to be a name that you will hear because of Davis Webb's ties to the Giants. He could be fun and interesting. I think there's fun pieces here. to add in free agency, Rhett. So, and then obviously at linebacker, I mean, you know that I love Jake Golday. A lot of mock drafts have put CJ Allen from Georgia to us, which would also be a great pick.
Mhm.
There are some fun ones. So, Jacob Rodriguez, another name that was thrown out that we've met with. So, it's interesting to hear Sean's perceived roster needs. It's going to be fun to see, hey, how do we address these, in a few weeks when tampering begins, and free agency opens up, and then what are we going to be looking at in the draft? Um, I think as far as the draft goes, it's a weak class for running backs. I think it's a pretty good class for linebackers. I think it's an interesting class for tight ends. I think good. I think that means good. Um,
Mhm.
so there's a lot of different flavors of tight end in this draft. So yeah, that was something that stuck out to me. Rhett, do you have any thoughts on that point before we go to our next nugget?
Yeah, I think in all three of those positions, running back, linebacker, tight end, the fit is so important. Like
Yep.
what we need, not just talent, but we need really there's this very specific roles that we're looking for. Least of which is linebacker. That is the most general, but running back and tight end, man, like if we were to take Charlie Kolar and he just worked the hook zone area and was kind of a safety valve for Bo Nix while being a great run blocker, I think that that's a great tight end for our offense. The way that we were running a lot of the routes that we
Yeah.
were pushing, it's like a lot of wide receiver stuff, and just like we need a tight end that can block and ostensibly do both. And I don't think he has to
Yeah.
be an incredible athlete or an
Yeah.
incredible threat
Yeah.
in terms of like wiggle, because we potentially still will have that in the tight end room already. We need an inline tight end that can um, definitely block better than Adam Troutman. That
Yeah.
was one of the things watching the Broncos offense that drove me nuts
He
this
can't
year
block,
is,
man.
dude, and
He
he
can't.
cannot block in space. Like
Oh,
he
oh gosh,
oh
no. He looked
and we
lost.
we kept asking him to do that. So many of the
Yeah.
screens that were unsuccessful were precisely unsuccessful because Troutman didn't get any piece of a DB going by him, and that's I have a hard time blaming him because the coaches kept him in that position and allowed him to continue, but it just drove me nuts. So if we can get some blocking in, that'd be great. Running back, I agree. I like the idea of I'm sold on the idea of Tyler Algier. Um, you know,
Yeah.
younger guy, less miles on him. Seems like he can do all of the work, and we don't need a superstar explosive running back because our offense is all about staying in front of the chains. And we we need if we could just get J.K. Dobbins without injuries, that would be amazing. The problem is
Yep.
that that's not what J.K. Dobbins is. So if if you can bring J.K. back and pair him with another running back that is like these upside plays. So Kolar, oh, he was sitting behind two great tight ends in Baltimore. There might be more there. That's great. Tyler Algier, he was sitting behind Bijan Robinson in Atlanta. There might be more there. Those are the kinds of moves that I'm more than happy to see Denver making. You know, if if Brees Hall hadn't been tagged and there was a chance to simply trade for him, or if he had somehow hit the free agent market or whatever, like, oh, that would be awesome to take a big swing and do that. But taking some of these guys that maybe there's more to get there from them, I think is a great strategy for us right now, particularly because in the draft, unfortunately, tight end and linebacker are both positions that are kind of known for taking a little bit of time to. They're a dish that takes a while to cook,
Yeah.
and so
Yep.
if you're going to get a tight end or a linebacker that's going to be an instant impact guy, that's probably round one. And
Yep.
I mean, maybe round two, but if you get past the first two rounds, I just don't believe that you're going to get a first day impact starting tight end or linebacker from the draft. That's not a reasonable expectation in
Yep,
today's NFL.
totally agree. Um, there's something I was going to say.
Oh, I bet it was going to be good.
I think it was probably going to be the best thing I would have ever said, but now we'll never know. That's too bad. Yeah. Listen. The reality is, and this feels great to be able to say, we don't have a ton of just absolutely glaring needs. I mean, of course, we've talked about like we personally would love to add to the receiver room, which we'll kind of get to that in a second.
Mhm.
We want a true inline Y. We need to address the running back room, but ultimately, if you look at our roster, I mean, we're one of the better put together rosters in the league, and
Mhm.
I think I'm excited about a free agency where I hope we make rather than the big splash moves, we just kind of make some shrewd, you know, like, not huge
Mhm.
splash, but just solid, good, savvy signings so that we could go into the draft and truly just sit there and say, we're going to just go with the value here, whatever it is. Yeah, should be fun. So, Rhett, the other thing I took away that I wanted to talk about, we mentioned wide receiver, and feels like most of us in Broncos country can't help but feel that a little bit of juice could stand to be added to that room. I know at the trade
Mhm.
deadline, a lot of us were waiting to see, are the Broncos going to make the move for another player? Well, yesterday I believe it was George. Maybe they both said something, but mentioned still liking the receiver room as it is, and the players that are still developing there, which leads you to believe that maybe it's not as high a priority to them as it is to us as fans. So, Rhett, my question that I wanted to pose for us to discuss is if the Broncos do not add any significant talent to that wide receiver room, what is it that we then need to see next season from the players we already have to feel better about that group?
I don't even think it's from the players. I think it's from the coaching staff because based on what Sean Payton and George Payton, I suppose, in as well, have handled the offseason so far, seems to me like they believe that the problem was the drops, and the problem was Kerry Colbert, our wide receiver coach, and
Yep.
so firing him, moving on from him, and getting our new receiver coach in,
Ronald
which
Curry.
Ronald Curry. That's right, Ronald. High school legend. Um, I need to see the drops. That's first and foremost. Like we have got to
You need to see
we've
him
got to
decrease, you mean?
we need to see them go away. Yeah, we need to see them by not seeing them. I need to unsee, anti-see these drops happen. And, and this is maybe I'm gonna give some tough love, but like I need to see Cortland Sutton be a number one receiver all the time
Sure.
because uh he is certainly treated as if he is a number one receiver every time he steps onto that football field. And as much as I love him, last season, every time he was not a number one receiver every single time. There were some days where you're just like, God, he is just cooking people. Oh my God. Like he is the only man that survived Quinyanamo Bay. Uh and I need to see that consistency from him because it felt like a receiving room that was missing real bread and butter, just go to every time. Here's a slam dunk, and we need him to be that. If we're gonna stand pat, if we're not gonna go get AJ Brown, then I need Cortland Sutton to play like he's AJ Brown,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I would
straight up.
agree with that. And we love Cortland Sutton, and I think that he is I don't think you can overstate what he means to the culture of the Denver
Hmm.
Broncos. I think he is all pro in terms of character. And I mean, again, he's a very good wide receiver. Like our criticism does not mean we think that he is a scrub by any stretch. But I agree with you,
No.
Rhett. I think that there were a lot of momentum killing drops from Cortland, which was strange because he's got the characteristic of being like our clutch receiver. In all honesty, Rhett, while maybe maybe a lot of the data might support that with like third down catch percentage and all that, fourth down catch, which I think was pretty high. I think him and Bo were
Mhm.
really good. I kind of think that like the receiver that we should see as our clutch receiver is Marvin Mims. Uh,
Yeah.
think about every like big play and a big moment that Bo has had. It's almost always Marvin Mims on the other end. If you
Mhm.
think, obviously the game didn't end up going our way, but in his rookie year, that Bengals game, really high tense situation, and Marvin Mims. I mean, first he had that deep pass, but then also the incredibly clutch catch to tie the game there at the end of
High pointing
regulation.
that ball over the
Um,
defender
I also
like
think
he's a
of
big guy.
I also think of that pivotal play in the Cleveland game his rookie year where Bo's in the back of our end zone and he slings it, Marvin takes it. And then most obviously, this last Buffalo game, where he drops it in the bucket to Marvin. Uh, still like it's so funny because anytime I think of this play, it just upsets me. But like we've talked about it a lot in the Giants comeback, the
Mhm.
dagger play where Marvin inexplicably turns around and Bo sails it too far for Cortland to catch, but Marvin's like makes no sense and it upsets me because it's like not the best process. But Marvin's clutch. So the reason I'm bringing this up because I do agree with your assessment of Court as much as I love him,
Mhm.
and I'm not advocating if this is the room that we have. I'm not advocating to move Cortland Sutton out of that like wide receiver one
Mhm.
spot, but I do think we need more Marvin Mims usage.
Mhm.
I think a lot of film guys in Broncos country push back on that, and they're like, "Yeah, he runs like two routes." I'm not disagreeing with any of that. I'm not disagreeing with like any criticism you could bring me about Marvin Mims. I have seen with my eyes that when Marvin Mims gets involved, good things happen. Like
Mhm.
it, I understand that that's not deep film X's and O's analysis. I understand that. Okay. I'm just saying when Marvin Mims gets involved, good things tend to happen. Um, I would like to get him involved more. Um, how about this, Rhett? Let's take Troy Franklin and Pat Bryant. Why don't we each pick one of those and tell me what you want to see from them, and then I'll take the one that you didn't cover.
I mean, I guess I'll have to go with my guy Pat Bryant. No,
Okay.
I'll take Troy, and
Okay.
you can take Pat. Um, from Troy, one of it is health. I need him to stay healthy, and two is the the consistency with him. I want him to fill out his route tree and to sort of his. It was like last year he almost showed up with like a whole new body. I don't know if just
Yeah.
16 and 11 looks so different. He did not look like the same player physically.
Yeah.
Um,
Put on some good weight.
in year two to year three, he put on some weight, and this year I'd hope to see him learn how to actually use his weight. Like
Hmm.
if you think about a lot of the plays he made, he played like a skinny receiver, and I'd like for him to fill out. And of course, for him, drops has always been like a little. There's concentration drops and whatnot.
True.
If he can round out his game and hit the highs more often, be kind of fill out, that would be my hope. Where he is a great complement, a backside receiver, a Z receiver in this offense, and he could fill
Yeah.
that role really, really well. Um,
Sure.
if we see him take those next steps, and this is a year where he should be poised to do that. So
Yeah.
if we're gonna continue to give him the leash, I think that's the next place to be. Where uh,
Totally. I don't think I would disagree with any of that. I think that's a good assessment. I pulled up I went to Football Reference here just out of curiosity because I've been fairly critical of Troy Franklin, um,
mhm.
but I do want to say this: his production leap from year one to year two was significant. He's still very much a flawed player who needs to improve in a lot of areas. But Rhett, in his rookie year, he had 53 targets and 28 receptions. In his second
Oof.
year, he that went to 104 targets to 65 receptions. And then his rookie year, he had 263 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. 2025, that jumped to 709 yards and 6 touchdowns. So, I mean, very significant production leap. I don't think that can be argued. But yeah, I agree when you said like learning how to use that weight. I think that's a big key for him. I think that getting out of breaks, I think releases, I think a lot of times those things were ugly for him. When it was good, it was good. But we need to see consistency in that because the weight he added was good weight. So yeah, try to use it. Rhett, for Pat Bryant, I liked a lot of what we saw from him. What an interesting journey that was with him as a guy who I liked when I watched him last offseason at Illinois. I kind of had like, the dude can't separate, but he's really good contested catch. I don't know. That could be. And then we take him in the 3rd round, and I'm thinking like, man, that's a little high. And then like Broncos country in general, we're kind of like, this is a disaster. And I was kind of like, okay, hold on. That's not a disaster. Like the kid can play. And then like he started like showing out in camp and people were like, he's going to be amazing. And I was like, all right, now you all need to slow your freaking roll here. Okay.
Yeah.
But look, I mean, stat-wise, did he blow us out of the water his first year? No, he didn't. But he saw a lot of good things. Now, Rhett, honestly, this is going to sound very lazy and obvious. But for Pat Bryant, I need to see that he can stay on the field. He is never going to be a guy that just juices past you. That's not who he is. He's going to have to be able to play physical, and he's going to have a refined route tree. And I do think, I think he was a better route runner than I gave him credit for once he got into the league. But he's going to have to play physical. Like that's part of his game. That's imperative. If he cannot stay on the field, then it doesn't really matter how refined he is. So that's what I need to see from him. I do think that if there is a player outside of Cortland Sutton, one of our young guys that has potential to be an X receiver, I think it's Pat Bryant. Yeah, it'll be fun to see if he can have a leap next year, but we'll see.
Yeah. The room overall is really interesting like that because like Cortland, I feel like he's going to generally be there for if you and it's over 17 games, you would assume every year he's going to play probably at least 15 of them.
If he gets a hair over 1,000 yards and another 7 touchdowns on like 80 catches, it won't shock me at all.
Yeah, but then the rest of the room, it's all guys who are talented, have shown flashes, and then have also struggled to stay on the field.
Yep.
And that's the concerning thing is, you feel like typically you want you're okay with one of those guys in a room. And the fact that Mims and the other and Pat Bryant and Troy Franklin have all missed time, and with Marvin being the size that he is, I would assume that as he's getting more production, like we just have to be cognizant of that. He may have to miss more time. So we'll see. I'm willing to trust the coaching staff because if we have improved at receiver coach and these guys are all able to develop for another year and we get the same court, maybe a little bit more consistent with court. It's the first and second down stuff with Cortland. I feel like Cortland Sutton he's that friend that's always there when you need him. And you just wish that sometimes he's there when you don't too, like, hey, like you have a friend and they're like kind of a jerk or kind of a flake sometimes. And they're like, no, but like when things get serious and like when you really need someone, they'll show up for you. And you're like, that's awesome. It's totally fine for someone to be a good person before they needed to be. Like, I would also love it if we didn't see so many first down drops from Cortland Sutton. So
it's true, man. That was a problem. And it was a problem across the board. But yeah, especially for a guy like Court who's been playing so long and is one of your leaders, you want to see those issues not be issues next year. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how Coach Curry gets those boys playing, gets them right, and whether we add talent or not, hopefully we can see some improvement. So
Yeah. The team the room will get better at basketball for sure. I bet you.
oh
So,
yeah, man, no doubt, no doubt.
they're building when you're receiving court, you're building a basketball team. So why not have
That's what it seems like. It's weird because Court's 6'4". I mean, he's a tall 6'4" man. Bryant is 6'2" or 6'3", but Troy Franklin too. I think Troy Franklin is 6'2", but it just
Mhm.
doesn't look like it because he's so slight. He's not
He's
as slight as he was his rookie year, but he just
mhm.
looks small. But he's tall too. So, and
Yeah.
then of course, Caleb Lohner,
Caleb Lohner, baby.
your guy,
Listen, that's why we don't. I just need someone to cover the hook
Sean.
zones because
Sean,
listen, Caleb
cancel the
Lohner's got the seam covered.
cancel all the combine tight end interviews, brother. Just cancel
I
them.
cannot. I cannot
We
wait.
we
I cannot
we
wait.
got our
Did you
guy.
know he played basketball?
We got our guy.
He played some basketball. He played some basketball in
He
college.
sure
He's
did.
gonna just go up for a rebound, baby.
He is four
He was
times. Four
Caleb.
times because that's about as many as he caught in college.
Do you think that
Right?
does Denver even beat the Bills if they don't have Caleb Lohner on the roster in the playoffs?
I
I
don't
don't think
know,
so.
but I'll tell you what, those are the questions people are asking.
Those
So
are, and I intend. I listen. We're gonna do our my guys again, and you bet your sweet butt that
brother,
Caleb Lohner's
I am
my guy for a. We're
I am on bated breath waiting to see if you can somehow do a worse job picking your guys than you did that past. And I mean, I don't think I should get like the corresponding credit because I feel like mine were pretty safe. It was Jonah Ellis and it was Palcho and who was my other one?
Pat Bryant.
Oh yeah, Pat Bryant. Yeah, which again like that one was
Hey,
yeah. Anyways,
we had corresponding strategies, and you played it safe, and that's cool. That's
I
fine.
need to
You
not
played
play.
it.
I need to
You
come out. I need to
what's
come out with like Michael Bandy as my guy for 2026.
well, what's so frustrating is I was like, I'm gonna take a swing, and if I miss, it's gonna be stupid. But if I'm trying to hit bombs, trying to home run. It felt to me like you were like, I'm just gonna put one nice in the gap, hit a single, and it like flew over the
Well,
fence.
can
Like
I? Obviously, it's not time to do my guys, but I have been thinking the last couple of days. Can I let a take fly just
yeah,
here
sure.
towards
Up,
the end of the?
by all
Okay,
means.
this is going to be. I don't know if this is wild or not. The 2025 draft class, Broncos draft class.
Mm-hmm.
Q Robinson is going to be the best Bronco from that class.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I do like Q. He had flashed a lot.
Rhett, he has in like I look at the physical profile, I look at some of his reps this last year. I am not saying he is a better edge than Nick Benito or Jonathan Cooper or maybe even Jonah Ellis. I think he might be the most complete edge in our room, though.
Ooh, see now
And
that's a take.
yeah, I know, man. I know that might
Q
sound
Robinson.
insane.
No,
He
it's not.
the frame
It's
and some of the reps we saw, he athletically he's got a very high ceiling. I love the way he plays. I want to see more of him next year. I want
well
to get him on the field more.
because
Yeah,
he's bigger than both. Let's think about this. He's bigger than both Benito and Cooper. I'm pretty sure. He's at least it looked that way. Like whenever he and Ellis would come out in the games where he was playing, like, you could see like they're both bigger.
he's so cut, man. I'm pulling
Uh,
up right now. Let's see. He's
and
6'4", 243. Okay,
and it's
he's
not
real
like he was
tall.
just feasting on like the bad teams. Had a couple plays against the AFC Championship game. He is the one that
Yeah,
gets
that one
gets
rep. Yeah,
Drake May on a
yeah.
boot and is able to bring him
He,
down and avoids horse collaring him or
yeah.
face masking. Like it was an incredibly athletic play.
Yeah,
So
don't let anyone. I don't want anyone to hear this and make it seem like what I'm trying to say is I don't have high hopes for Jade Barron or R.J. Harvey or Pat Bryant or of
mhm.
course Caleb Lohner. Uh, Actually, best player in the class, Jeremy Crawshaw. No, but yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to let that take flight because I've been thinking about it for a couple days, and I keep going like, no, you're just trying to do a thing, Like I'm like,
No.
no, I was like, no, you're just trying to do a thing.
Well,
Well,
I
you know,
love it's very
I'm doing a
specific.
thing. I'm doing a thing here. I think that Q
Yeah.
Robinson. I think he is our
Most
most
complete.
complete edge. I'm not saying that means he is better than Nick Benito, people. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, man, I could see a jump
I
uh,
like that.
next year. We'll
Most
see.
his skill set is most rounded. He needs to blossom it, but oof.
There's
I like it.
yeah. So, anyways,
It's what we do. It's what we do.
that's what we do. That's what we do.
We let off some takes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's my take.
You got a
I
take?
don't want Ken Walker.
Yeah, I know. You've talked a little
Keep
bit
Ken
about that
Walker
in our
away from
text
me.
thread.
Yeah.
I
I
respect it.
I don't need it. Like, listen, hey, Super Bowl MVP, that was super cool. Also, if the Broncos did get him, like there would be games where I would look really stupid because he would just run all over everybody. I really need a much more complete running back than him, especially for paying at the top of the market in free agency, like I would assume is going to happen with him. But um, I I, I feel like we can get
Sean and
a
uh, Sean and
it's
George were saying yesterday that I think maybe just George. I don't know
mhm,
if Sean got asked about it, but George said we still see RJ Harvey as that potential 3 down back, and so we don't got to do this with Harvey. Who, oh, by the way, I was high on. Like I like
mhm.
RJ Harvey, and I like RJ. I thought he had a good rookie season too. I don't think he is a 3 down back, and I think that's pretty obvious. Um,
I think even if he hits, I don't want him to be our three down back. Like even if
yeah,
he's the best version of himself,
yeah, I
I
like
I
RJ
just
Harvey. I like having him on our team. He was yeah. I mean, what did he lead our offensive players, skill players, and touchdowns? I think maybe.
yeah,
Uh,
he's he's very good, and he's like a Porsche or a Ferrari or whatever. And
yeah.
I don't want I don't want him to run 15 halfback dives every game. Like I'm kind of
Oh
like
yeah,
no,
yeah.
let's
You're taking
let's
him out every now and then to like go
yeah.
like 120 on the highway. We're looking for like our Toyota Rav4, right? Like we're looking
We
for
just need a
we need all reliable. Okay.
reliable, yeah, just something, it's got it, yeah, a little bit of top end speed wouldn't kill us. But um yeah, so let's get a lunch pail guy in there, and let RJ be RJ. We don't need to make him no three down back. That's please, Sean, quit.
You know,
Um yeah, any thought, George Payton? I know they talked about, like, are you nervous at all that he might not get an extension?
no, it seemed pretty clear from yesterday that that's probably
Okay.
in the works. I know that like Sean said pretty early in his presser yesterday, like, yeah, I expect that to be something that gets done soon. And then he made the comment, I think I might have sent it to you in the text thread, like his job would not be as fun or enjoyable without George around. And that's just something, I mean, when Sean came here, I kind of thought it was a foregone. I was like, George Payton has at most a year left
Hmm.
before Sean boots him out and finds his guy. And I really, it really only strengthened when he brought in Cody Rager from the Saints, who now is I don't remember what Cody does now. He's like a director of college scouting. I don't know. He does one of those
Hmm.
roles, but I was just kind of like, well, there you go. Like he's gonna
Yeah.
get rid of George and he's gonna promote Cody. Uh, the way that they work so well together has definitely been one of the big surprises in the Sean Payton era. I'm not upset about it. I mean, I've said this before. Like George Payton has had two very, very egregious mistakes in uh, trading for and then signing Russell Wilson to a massive contract, um, and then hiring Nathaniel Hackett as his head coach. I think that the Hackett one is worse in my opinion, because in
Yeah.
hindsight, it felt so like obviously they were trying to lure Aaron Rodgers. Like you can't tell me otherwise. It was bad
Hmm.
process. The Russell Wilson one, I feel like a lot of other GMs at the time would have made a similar mistake. He took a big swing. I mean, we were in quarterback purgatory for years at that point. Like, and he's trying to take a big swing, and he woofed, you know, hard, and it happened, and it sucked. But like, it's not just all Sean Payton that's gotten us to where we are. George Payton has played a role in this too. Like, as much as that Russell Wilson contract hurt us, we have. I mean, we're 14-3 last year, and George Payton's a part of that too. I think he is still a really good scout. I think that's what he is at heart, Red. I think he's a
Hmm.
scout at heart. And I do think he's been really impressive, like this past offseason, being ahead on some of our, you know, contracts, retaining guys.
Hmm.
Uh, and that's why this offseason is going to be a lot less stressful because of how well he did last year with that stuff. So, I think George Payton will remain, and I think that's a good thing. I know that there was some speculation when the Vikings fired Kwesi Adofo-Mensah that, oh well, wait a minute, the Vikings, they might trade for George Payton
Hmm.
because he used to be here, and it just felt like something that people were trying really hard to make a story out of. So
Disconnecting dots. I think it to bring it full circle, it feels again like similar feelings to the Davis Webb situation, where it speaks to, oh, Sean Payton. Like, does Sean Payton go to counseling? Is he working on
yeah,
himself?
yeah,
Is he growing emotionally or something? Because going coming in, just hey, he's Sean Payton. He is the alpha male. He is not going to let someone else be running.
yeah,
But what got Sean Payton in trouble long term in New Orleans was not that he was a bad coach, was not that he wasn't an offensive genius. It was that over time, that Saints team had a talent drain. And he went from, same thing with the Shanahan Broncos. We win back to back Super Bowls, and then
mhm,
um, Mike Shanahan would take a great player and then replace him with a good player. And then that good
yeah,
player would go. And then, like just over time. And the Broncos are quietly on a run of, I would say, the last 3 or 4, 5 drafts. I know the guys, the DNVR guys, they sat down and Henry Chisholm was talking about the last several draft classes, and they were talking about how consistently good George Payton has been as a drafter, and if if we can keep and retain him. And there's no reason for him not to become just the league's highest paid GM because of how our ownership is. And that should be the thing is, hey, you will make the most money doing your thing here. Um,
yeah,
we should that should be the formula is Sean Payton seems to be a great coach who can identify other good coaches. Like he seems to be able to kind of maintain a staff and do that over time, and then you find a GM in George Payton who is going to be able to constantly refill this roster in healthy, sustainable ways through the draft, so that we don't get to a place where we're having to put 11 voided years on every
yeah,
contract like we're the Saints and play all those like we'll play cap games because that's how we be. But um, he has been he's been phenomenal. Like, I mean, I think there's been at
yeah. I
least
think
one starter in every draft that we've had over the last 5 years, like good. And he's hitting guys late. He's hit early. Uh, he's, I mean,
yeah, he's doing well.
oof,
I think people are real. We got a lot of our fan base who already kind of think Jade Barron's a bust, which I think's insane. Like, let's all can we relax, please, a
yeah.
little bit? My gosh. Uh, but I no, I agree. I think he's done well. I would like to see him get extended. I think he and Sean work well together. I think that our head coach and our GM and our ownership have a very rare wavelength that
Hmm.
I don't really want to disrupt. So I'd say let's keep that going. Um, yeah, I'm excited about it. So
I think it's gonna be good. And you know what I'm excited about, Ian?
what?
Honestly, I'm excited. I'm excited about going to bed. I'm tired.
Yeah.
uh,
Uh,
we'll see. What do we have coming? So we have the combine. That's been going. That's going on this weekend. I think stuff starting tomorrow, and
Stuff starting tomorrow.
then we can turn our eyes towards the
Legal
draft. We can start doing
tampering.
some.
Legal tampering. That's
Oh,
the next thing.
oh god.
Tampering legally.
When the tampering has a little bit of legality in it. Oh
Yeah,
baby.
this is a fun little slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's see. I'm excited. I think we're building something. It's building something big, completing this roster. Um, we're gonna see it. It's all gonna come together, baby.
This has got to be like the weakest ending to an episode we've ever had.
Yeah, man. this one really fizzled. So do with that what you may.
Good night, everybody.
Be blessed, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.